Okay, I'm not a fan of AI because of how it is destroying the environment. However, as a mentally and physically disabled woman with trauma, I have had to learn all of this the hard way, and it brings me so many thoughts. But my immediate thoughts that I feel called to share are stuff that I've had to address, like with shadow work, since my last breakup. So I have 6 disabilities. They're all neurological in some way, and I can't emphasize how important that is to keep in mind, because between the ADHD and the PTSD, social cues are not just confusing, but that confusion can absolutely trigger the trauma, and that trauma can trigger that fight or flight, and then that fight or flight can trigger that muscular tension. It can be debilitating. It's often debilitating. You know, I'm still healing. To be in a relationship with me requires the understanding that communication issues will probably occur and will require patience from both of us to properly work through. Essentially, I come with work. If you want to be in my life intimately, you have to be willing to grow and allow space for me to grow. And the thing is, when it comes to dating, most people are not looking for someone to grow with. Most people aren't looking to dive deep into their healing. Tragedy, trauma, depression, and grief are all things that you make time for. They're not acknowledged in patriarchally driven daily life. The 40-hour work week was made with the idea that someone else was at home taking care of everything, and now we've normalized that as an individual endeavor. The work it takes just to get by, just to survive, is exhausting, so most people aren't looking for any more work in any capacity outside of the basics of daily survival. And that absolutely includes relationships. People aren't looking for someone to grow with. People are looking for someone to settle with. They're looking for relief. And again, as a mentally, physically disabled person, I come with growth, which, yes, includes moments of relief, but it also includes moments of tension. And most of the time, those are coexisting as they are in life. I always try to warn them, communicating the ins and outs of all of my disabilities, as well as how I am still healing after everything that I've been through. And they always say they understand, but they never really do until they're faced with those tensions, those difficulties, head on. And it's not until that point that they realize the unspoken terms and conditions that come with their love. And granted, I've only been in 2 official relationships. I've had quite a few situationships. I'm almost 30, I'm still young, but it's still heavy. Facing the fact that as a disabled woman, I am a swift slap in the face of the shadow work that you haven't done, you haven't made time for, and most are either 1, claiming they don't have the time for, or 2, just ignoring it for whatever reason. I know that I'm not the only person who understands how hard it is to constantly be the lesson. Yeah, love is not unconditional in practice, only in theory. However, these 2 polar opposites can be reconciled in praxis, i.e. the process of applying theoretical knowledge to real-world action and then reflecting on the results. This is what I mean when I say interdependent healing. Yes, a lot of this can be healed independently, but a lot of this is healed interdependently because there's only so much healing you can do on your own. Keeping people in your life takes work. It takes emotional work. There's a mental health crisis. We have to start doing the work to connect with each other and heal. Just some thoughts for the day, food for thought. Let me know your thoughts. Love you, here for you. We got this.